Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm
Cheers.
just I was just checking my as we were going, I just something popped up said transaction in my email and I'm like, "Oh, what did I buy this time?" Cuz I never know cuz as we know things renew. But it's interesting because this one actually, I got to put my glasses on for this because it's interesting. It actually came from the email. It says Faye Chapel,
Oh, I don't
fake.
like it when that happens.
And it's from Ellen Bass Foster 08 at Gmail. So it's fake, but it looks real and it's from Geek Squad Tech Support and it's personal home subscription, and it basically says 5 years of service, $601. And so my assumption, I'm not sure, I guess my assumption is that when you call the number, the 80, what is it, an 808 number? When you call the number, they'll ask for your credit card to refund or something. I'm assuming I'm kind of feeling like I should call just to see what would happen.
I bet they'll probably say we want to confirm your credit card that we have on file.
Yeah.
So can you give us your credit card number so we can process the transaction?
Yeah. Or you'll say, or that you'll say, I didn't sign up for this. And they'll go, what's your credit card? And we'll refund your money. Right.
Either way, they're going to get your credit card.
Anyways, I thought it was that's really sneaky because it does look like totally legitimate, like Geek Tech Support. And it has an address.
They're getting smarter, right? Like they're getting smarter in the look of their emails. They're getting smarter in regards to what they're saying because they know what the email looks like. Yeah. It's less obvious now because it looks so legit. And if you're not looking at the email address, you don't know anymore the subscriptions you have because we all sign up for so many things that it actually becomes a challenge.
Yeah. And even at the end, it says company copyright 2022. Well, that gives it away. Billinghead, Gene Fall. Like things that are normally on it. But I'm going to tell you, it looks totally legit with invoice date, Geek Squad, PC service. Well, here's the biggest problem. I don't have a PC. So,
right, but I remember us getting an email one time to check, I don't know, it was a credit card, something. It was through the Mastermind City information. And you go, oh, I think I've seen that before. Cause I was like, what's this? Why are we I thought we paid the bill or whatever. And then you looked at the email address and you're right. It was like something 07@gmail.com and it completely, but again, you have to look at it. So if you don't know,
people will fall for it. Yeah. A lot of people,
because we sign up for so many things online, you go, okay, well, that must be legit.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but it is like we've talked about it before. You got to be careful because there are so many things out there and I feel really bad for people that don't understand it.
Well, they're taken in again because they're getting smarter. The look of the email is legit. It used to be just a screenshot, and you can tell a screenshot. It's pretty, it's fuzzy. It's not really clear. They've literally taken a screenshot and putting it into an email. But they're not doing that anymore, right? They're getting smarter, so it's getting harder to recognize the emails.
Yeah, and the problem is that most people will call or click or do something. It bugs me that they have my email.
Well, that's going to be fine though.
But and it's and there's an unsubscribe button, but you're afraid to touch it.
Well, if you click unsubscribe, then they know so what I usually do is just click either in your Apple Mail or wherever you're looking at it. There's a sort of this is junk.
Yeah.
And then you won't get it again in your inbox.
Yeah.
It just goes to
pretty sad though, right? Very. Scammers have been around forever. It's just now scammers can sit in their little cubbyhole basement and they don't have to knock on doors and try to scam you anymore. They can scam you from everywhere.
Anywhere in the world. And like I said, they're getting smarter in regards to technology and the look of emails and the look of how they're presenting themselves. And even if you call that number, I bet it would be e-tech support. Yeah. Yes, we did send that email. Like I bet it would be legit customer service.
I do want to call, but then they'll have my phone number.
Yeah, you can block it, but I'm sure they still would.
They still somehow, so I can't really call, but I sometimes, like, if they call me on my, if somebody calls me, I love keeping them online because I think it's funny. I just love listening to the, what they're trying to sell me on. But this one's always, it always cracks me up when somebody, tries to sell me, because they've done it in the past on a PC service when I don't have a PC. Yeah. So they're like, yes, they're insistent. They're like, yes, you do. No, I actually don't.
That's the problem. They're preying on the people who don't know.
Yeah, they don't. They'll say, I have a laptop. Well, it's a PC. They don't know. Like, people wouldn't even understand, some people, right? But anyway,
good way to start the day. So be careful out there.
Public service announcement, right?
Be careful. Look at your emails.
Well, it's just because of, my notifications are still flashing, so I didn't turn them off. And so when you see transaction, you immediately go, what?
Well, the only thing that flags me is with Amazon, I'll purchase multiple things, and then but the total doesn't go through automatically or immediately, right? No. And then 3 hours later, you get a transaction notification. You're like, what did I buy?
Yeah. It's okay. I usually think all things from Amazon are legit because I think I buy something on a daily basis.
I actually feel bad for the guy. I feel like he's coming here every day. I feel like he's going to leave me a note going, can you be a little more organized and actually order it all at once? So I have to come here every day.
That's why Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, right? Yeah. Or sorry, next to Elon. Elon's number one. Jeff Bezos is number two.
Yeah. So, good for him. Because I even my kids' textbooks for college.
Yeah.
Amazon got here the next day.
Exactly. Because the bookstore at the school usually doesn't even have them.
Well, they don't have them anymore, and they're cheaper.
Yeah.
He sends me a note and he goes, I need this. I'm like, okay, you can have it tomorrow. It's just so weird.
Exactly. So weird. But it's I was interested because there was a lot of tech stuff coming in. We talked about it earlier. We're going to start back up on Tech Tuesday or Tech City October.
Yep.
And we're going to bring you guys the latest stuff that we think is cool, right?
There's a lot of stuff that we think is cool, and I'm actually excited. I'm starting to make a list of things that there's the obvious ones, but I feel like there's a lot that are not obvious. And even we find things on a regular basis that we didn't even know about and have never seen or whatever. So we're going to share that with the world.
Yeah. So yesterday I was just reading in the morning, as I do on my favorite media, which is Apple News. Shout out to Apple News, because that's how I start my mornings, in bed or at night, depending on, or in the middle of the night.
Or both.
But I was reading someone's blog. We went down this rabbit hole, found this cool, really cool video online meeting thing. And, we love Wave, we love Zoom, but this is different. Yep. And so we went down that rabbit hole, and it was fantastic. And, it takes a lot to impress us, right? It takes a lot because we've tried everything. And as soon as we did that, then Stacy went back to all our old ones to see if they've made any improvements. And, but this one was fabulous. And so we're going to talk about it obviously on Tech Tuesday, but, to me, everything's changing so fast that it's just fascinating. And this morning I was just reading one of the blogs I follow, which is The Hustle. And I just read the old ones because they come out so fast. But there's, I don't know if you guys are familiar with all the AI and the GP3, which is the copywriting AI. So, you can actually go into a copywriting AI and say, write a blog on why the grass is green, and it'll write a whole blog for you. So it's
there's a lot of AI. Yeah.
Really AI. But here's the interesting one I read today, which is there's a new AI. It's not even launched. It's in, it's through that GPT-3, and it's so let's take, for example, if you put up a picture of the Mona Lisa,
okay,
the AI will expand the picture, so it'll come up with what it thinks is around, outside of the frame. How interesting is that? So if you have a picture, for example, of a dog beside a tree, the AI will expand to show you actually it was in a forest, or fascinating.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not like, is it useful? No, but it's fascinating. So I love reading about all the new stuff that, maybe isn't going to be useful. Maybe it is. Maybe it will be useful when it actually comes out. I don't know how you would use it, but
well, it was interesting because there was an AI. I saw it on TikTok. This girl showcased this site, and it's an AI video site. So literally, you type in your text, and there's a video of a person saying your words, and their mouth is perfectly aligned with the word you put in.
I think
so. If you don't want to do an explainer video, if you don't want to do the welcome or something on your site, you can literally go to this one, punch in the words, and you can have a video of someone speaking on, and then download the video. I was like, huh? That's crazy.
I think we have that on one of our sites.
I don't know. It's just like,
I think we do, because I remember seeing it. So we buy, you guys know, we buy so much. We buy so many, startups. So we can't even keep track of the stuff we buy. But literally, we can't keep track of it. But I think I remember watching it. So I think we actually own something like that.
Well, it was kind of creepy-ish.
Yes.
In a sense, I was like, well, if I'm going to spend the time putting the words on someone else's mouth, I'm actually going to say them myself and put myself on video. But I can see, sort of some applications as to why it wouldn't make sense to put yourself out there or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But it was just like, I kind of tested it out and I'm like, okay, this is just weird.
Yeah. But that's the people that don't want to be on camera. Not a bad thing. It's not any different than, when people hire actors to be spokesmen
it's true.
for the company. Yeah. So, when people say, oh, that's not right. Yeah, it is. Because all those people on TV that say their doctors aren't.
Right? Well, I was actually thinking of it even from a video show intro or a podcast intro where you want somebody else, because there's a lot of shows that will use somebody else's voice as their intro. Welcome to the show. I was like, this would be perfect for that. You've got a whole collection of different voices you can choose from.
Yeah, you don't have to go and, pay somebody else. Just buy the software and then just do it yourself. That's kind of cool.
It was very lots of things. But when we did go back, so yes, we do buy a lot, and some of them, most of them, I would say, work out really, really well. And some of the ones that we purchased just go down a road that, a little bit different than we expected. So like you said, we found this amazing one, which we'll talk about when we start Tech Tuesday. But we did go back and I was like, okay, I really love this one. I saw the potential for it. I was really excited. Yeah. So I went back and it was 2 different platforms. So I, go in, I send the link to Faye and I go, okay, let's test this one out. 2 seconds. It literally took us 2 seconds. We go, ew. And we're really
went the wrong way.
We know this stuff. So if we don't like it, it's probably a really good reason why. Yeah. And if it's not intuitive to us, then it's going to be very complicated probably for a lot of other people. Yeah. And then we went on the second one, which I was even more excited about, because this one was supposed to be the next online, event platform of the century. Yeah. And it was the same thing. It really hadn't updated at all. And that was from a couple of years ago. So they didn't stay with the plan.
Yeah. And the one that we love, this new one, which was interesting because, we always, when we're trialing something, if we love it, we always have to be careful because we know tech. So it's, we don't know if it's really, we love it. You know what I mean? Until somebody else has to use it. So we sent it to a friend who is not as tech savvy. And she got in right away and loved it. Right.
Easy. Yeah. And she even got the app and she figured it out and she was on and she goes, okay, this is easy for me.
Yes.
Which means good for the people who did it. So I think we're probably going to be showcasing that one really soon. So stay tuned.
So, I mean, I think there's a huge lesson here that, a lot of times you might have an idea and, people always go, oh, but somebody's already doing it. Somebody's already doing it. And, in this case, there are thousands of people doing it, online meetings, online video platforms. And, this one is just a different viewpoint, a different angle, and one that we love. And so, yes, it's another one, but it's another one with unique principles to it. And so if you do have an idea and you think, oh, there's people already doing it, don't think that way, because your angle on it might be something completely different. And which happens, that's how every business gets started. It's like, yeah, I'm not reinventing a product, but I'm reinventing my interpretation of the product.
And we had, so it was, so let me see, 1, 2, there's 4, well, 5 if you include Zoom, video platforms that we're testing out. This would be number 6, this one over here. And literally what this one did is it took sort of, features from all 5. So we were literally like, oh, well, it took this from Zoom. It took this from this one. It's similar to this. It doesn't have what this has, but it has what this has. So it kind of took, so again, they didn't reinvent the wheel, but they brought over some of features that none of them have together. So you would have to use this for this, this for this, this for this, but this one has it. So anyway, it's really cool. So good for them.
And here's a good way. So we're on Wave. And we bought Wave years ago for video producing, video making. Years ago. And that's all there was no live stream, nothing. We used StreamYard, which was fantastic.
Yeah, but you even bought this before streaming was even
before it existed. So Wave, just so you guys understand, Wave was strictly a video platform, how to make videos, kind of, right? And then by random, and we talked about it before, randomly, I said, hey, I think they do live streams now. So here is a company who wasn't doing live streams at all, right? Added it to what they were doing. And we left StreamYard, which was a perfectly great
no issue.
We left StreamYard and came here. So the fact is, when Wave initially started, I don't know the founder personally, but I don't believe they thought they were going to be a streaming platform.
Well, because streaming wasn't a thing.
No, and they're not a streaming, that's not their number one priority. But the fact is that it grew because, shout out to Wave's founder, whoever that is, saw that was a natural fit and good potential and added it to the toolkit, and good for them. So again, everyone thought, well, who's gonna, StreamYard's it, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? We were loyal to StreamYard, and then we saw this and we thought, this is cool. We have it and we liked it. And there's no difference. Like, we like Zoom to an extent, but but when we saw this new platform, where I'm like, we were like, oh, I'd much rather use this than Zoom. And for the
purpose. So again, there's different purposes. There's pieces of it that you would stick with Zoom or whatever the case may be. I think that's
I'm babysitting today.
But that's also why you always go back. So again, we went back yesterday to some old platforms and seeing if they had updated or added features, and they didn't. And in this case, when we went back, they did. So it's always worth, even if you have those old programs from a while ago, check your login. You might have lifetime access, or you let them go because it didn't work for you. Go back and see what they're doing now, because they may have updated things that might work for your business now, because you've progressed and the platform has progressed.
Right. And
sometimes they don't, though.
Some of them change, a lot of times, but some change directions completely, but they still honor your subscription or whatever it was, right? So
it's not always the newer ones. I guess we always go to new. We always go, what's the next new shiny object?
Yeah.
But what actually is sort of an oldie but a goodie that maybe they've updated and, like I said, works sometimes even better than we thought before.
So, there's a lot to be said for example, Wave, who's been in the business for years, already have that experience, right? They already have have kind of massaged what's working and what's not. They've already got the feedback from their community. So they're walking in with a lot of information, whereas new sometimes is new, but they have no idea what they're missing. So that's the kind of thing, like if we talk about, we buy a lot of stuff from AppSumo, and that's the kind of thing when somebody launches on AppSumo, the AppSumo community will tell you right away.
Right.
What they don't like and what they like. And that's fantastic for a startup, because for us, for example, we know right away. We'll go in check it out, and we'll go, no, you know what, they're missing this, 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 and this. And if they had that, you'd be a winner. And sometimes when you're building a business and you're building a product, you don't know what's missing. And this is not about tech, it's not about software, it's about anything, right? So it's about, you know, opening a storefront and realizing your customers are like, we love everything, but right, if you had this, we'd come every day. If you had this, we'd shop here instead of somewhere else. So
or programs, people do online programs, and same thing. It's like, oh, you know, you've covered like 90%. I wish you just had this one piece that would help me put the whole thing together, or whatever the case may be. So
so definitely. there's always room for everything. There's nothing new in terms of you know, reinventing pieces that are already, you know, that you might be already doing, right? There's nothing new. You're just going to add and tweak it. Just like this AI thing that I talked about with the, you know, the AI and the software piece exists. You're not creating that new, but what they're creating is now a visual aspect to it. Right. But that's still here. So no one thought about it before. And all of a sudden somebody was like, hey, can it do this? Right. Let's see if we can do it. So it's the same thing with whatever you're thinking about in your business. You know, maybe you're a coach and you're a business coach, but maybe you can add a different aspect to it that traditional coaches don't have. And maybe it's like, you're going to add some type of wellness to it. You're going to add, you know, a component where you integrate meditation into their business learning. I mean, I don't know what it is, but there's always opportunity to customize.
And there's always room for everybody. So whether it's a product, whether it's software, whether it's a service, everyone always goes, oh, there's so many coaches out there. There's so many this person out there. So many wellness practitioners out there. Where could I possibly fit in? And again, like you said in the beginning, your spin can make the biggest difference because nobody else has your spin.
I was, the other thing I found on this person's blog, I was just looking at some old stuff, and he was talking about this new browser that's launching. And like, nobody needs a new browser. What do you need a new browser for? You have Chrome, you have the Safari,
Firefox.
I don't know what PC uses anymore. But
Firefox mainly, Firefox, Chrome, and then of course then there's Explorer.
Right. Is that still around?
Apparently.
So anyway, so I looked at it. It's called ARC, A-R-C. So like, you know me, I don't want to like be last on the list. So I'm like, well, I'm going to check it out. So I go and it's like waitlisted.
Really?
So I put my name in. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to see, what does a new browser look like? And, you know, they're saying it's totally different than, you know, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to join.
Well, I mean, really, you've got, you know, probably the three, Chrome, Safari, and Firefox would be the three main ones that people use.
Yeah.
You know, Safari being sort of Mac based, obviously PC users, everybody uses Chrome, Google. So I can't even imagine, again, like there's so many similarities between those ones. And I don't know the Explorer one. I can't remember the name of it.
Well, this one it's called, if anyone's interested in watching, it's arc.net, and it just says everything you care about in one place. I don't know. It's just I'm just, you know, curious.
Okay, well, when you get onto the list after the wait list,
I'm on the list, so you can go ahead and do it yourself. It says try it for yourself, and then what'll come up is like join the wait list.
Cool.
But I'm willing to join the wait list.
I'd be fascinated to know what how can they reinvent the browser? The browser's the browser. So
exactly. But see, that's the whole point. The browser's the browser, but somehow this one's supposed to be unique. So it'll be interesting to see, because remember, before Chrome, right? When there was only, what was it before Internet Explorer?
That was the main one for Bing. Bing is another one, but that's more of a search engine versus a browser.
Yeah. So there was like, I remember when browsers were crappy, right? So what's to say
they didn't have tabs, which was probably a good thing because I have about 1 billion tabs open.
Yeah. So maybe this is something completely different, or maybe not.
Well, it is. I mean, if somebody can sort of think forward thinking, what's missing? If I could build this from scratch, what would I do?
And the other part of this is that what was interesting is specifically it's Mac, it's for Mac people. So, so we are, I'll tell you straight out, we're very biased. So when we say, oh, you can tell this was made by a Mac person, like it's because it's a different, you feel the intuitiveness of a software. You can tell whether it's somebody who's a PC based or a Mac based.
It's very the way your brain works.
So that's why I was like, oh, this might be a very cool browser then if it's like Mac based, right?
I'm not biased at all.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to encourage everyone today to go and be unique. Find something new, find something old. I'll leave on an inspirational note. I'm feeling inspirational today.
Okay.
Go back and look at your stuff.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting. I was just about to do that too, because I was like, hey, we have some. I just realized we have some cool things for some other purposes. But I was like, I wonder if they've updated. So I'm going to check those out this morning, because I did so much work yesterday that I realized at like 6 o'clock when I lost, half hour worth of work because I didn't save it. I realized it was time to shut down. For those of you who are making new software, please autosave. Put an autosave.
Please, for the love of everything, autosave.
Because sometimes, if you touch the mouse, it gets a little finicky and it'll just close out everything. And then yeah, so I think I'm going to take it a little easy this morning after I let the chickens out.
Say hi to the chickens for me.
I will.
All right. Bye.